Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James, the channel that brings you your team every single day, guys. It is time to talk Rangers again on this Monday morning, guys. No one likes a Monday, do they? Monday, worst day of the week. Probably is one of the worst days of the week. Anyway, Rangers come off weekend where we won 2-1. Very unconvincing victory. A victory that I think David Edgar put it best in his post-match reflection for Heart and Hand. He said that it's not a victory that papers over the cracks, because we're all still very much aware of what the cracks are. We're very much aware that there are still cracks there. I think anyone who can look at this with a kind of open eyes and an open brain and open real sort of openness to what is genuinely going on at the club at the moment can see a team that is just badly lacking in a number of areas. The organisation is very poor. The shape is very poor. The tactics are very poor. We don't keep the ball well enough. We don't move the ball quick enough. We're not clinical enough in front of goal. There's an awful lot of issues within this team. There's an awful lot of issues that need to be addressed. Now, I have to say that I didn't straight away go and check out the post-match interview with Philippe Clement. I've kind of grown a bit I don't know, numb to what he says, kind of grown a bit to the point where he trots out the same stuff week in, week out, and to me just appears increasingly irrelevant. And it's increasingly just a case of, do you think that he genuinely believes what he's saying? And if he does, then quite clearly this club have got a lot of issues that are not being addressed. I mean, let's deal with this, a little bit with what Clement actually said post-match. Now, he talked about the game, and he talked obviously about what had gone on. He talked about the whole situation, regards the performance and regards the players. And I've got to say, I honestly just despaired. I honestly did. It was just, I don't know, an absolute clueless interview yet again from Clement. It really genuinely was. It was just another example of just plain, I don't know, plain irrelevance from him, plain just failure to read the room, failure to understand what is truly going on at this club. And I honestly say that if he genuinely believes what he's saying, and I've got no doubt that that he is believing in what he's saying. God knows what's happening there. That he genuinely does kind of believe it. This is a quote. He says, "We started today with 7 players who are new this season. That's a work in progress." Why is he still saying this? Yes, there were 7 players out there that were new, and yes, it's the first time that Cass and Tierney have played together on the right hand side. Well, that's his fault for persistently picking Tav. But why is this still being trotted out week in, week out? Why is he still using this utterly irrelevant excuse? I just want to go back to the start of the season when he said that you will see a better Rangers in October and November. We'd see a more cohesive unit, a better development. And this was something that John Suter was questioned on as well. John Suter was asked about this situation in an interview, and he said, "Yes, I agree with the manager on this one." So it's a common knowledge, and it's reported by a number of other sources that that this is something he came out with, that you'll see a better Rangers in October and November. Well, Philippe, we're not seeing a better Rangers. We're seeing the exact same Rangers we saw at the start of the season. Very sort of disjointed, very lacking any fluency. No aggression, no fast flowing football, no fast attacking football. Certainly didn't build on what we saw on Thursday night. And I think, part of that, yes, is the fact that domestically we struggle to cope with the difference in football. Clement has a very European style, which works in Europe. Of course it works in Europe. It didn't work against Lyon, but it worked against the lesser team, shall we say. Like Malmo and FCSB, who were particularly poor. But domestically, it just doesn't work. Domestically, what he's trying doesn't work. Against these more physical teams, against these hammer throwers, knuckle draggers, whatever you want to call them, this approach that he's taking isn't working. And it's quite worrying that he doesn't see this and he genuinely doesn't get this. It is a real cause for concern in terms of his interview. And, He talked as well about the fact that, as far as he was concerned, it was just a failure to capitalize on the third goal. It was the failure to put that ball in the back of the net. Well, yeah, that's part of it, certainly, and obviously Cheney was unlucky when the keeper pulls off an absolute worldie of a save. But I don't think at any point Samira were ever out of that game. There was no point where you kind of were sitting there in some comfort and going, yeah, that was good. That was good. This game's secure. It's fine. We don't need to worry. It's definitely there. So, I honestly, just genuinely don't believe that well, I actually believe he does believe what he's saying half the time. It just smacks of just cluelessness. It really does in what he says. And he trots out the same utter rubbish after every single game. This, we're still bonding together. We're still becoming a team. This, they've only been in the door 2 months. It is the same for every team, Philippe. It's the same for any other team that's signed players. They're all experiencing similar things, but it seems that it's only Rangers that it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months for players to bed in. Why is that? What are you doing? And what are you doing wrong that isn't working? Because there's quite clearly something that's not going right at this club, Philippe. It's something that is not right at this club for me, if that's what's happening. So I think that's part of it. Now, he also came out with something else that I just kind of sat and begged belief. Now, it appears that the dropping of James Tavernier and Cyril Dessers was not, in fact, a dropping of either player. It was, in fact, a rotation, because of the fact that we're playing so many games in so many days, which I get. That happens. That's why you've got a squad. You do rotate players. I mean, teams do that. But he comes out with this line that that no other team in Europe has the schedule that we have. Well, I'm sorry, Philippe, that's absolute bollocks. It's absolute rubbish. Every team in England has exactly the same schedule. That's in Europe, has the same schedule as you. Every team that plays in Europe has the same schedule as we do. Manchester City, for example, played Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. Liverpool played Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday. Who else? Villa played Tuesday, Saturday. Played Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Who did the Champions League? Arsenal played Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. And then you've got the 2 Europa League teams, Manchester United and Tottenham. They played Saturday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday, Thursday, Sunday. Celtic played Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday. So Philippe, every team that's in Europe has this same schedule. So you can't sit there and trot out this utter gump that's, you do about the fact that we are the only team with this schedule. No, we're not. Not in England. Yes, in Europe we are, because we know that the English and Scottish leagues don't really look after their domestic teams. We know that in the Eredivisie, in Ligue 1, in Serie A, in La Liga, there is a much better attitude taken towards moving fixtures and helping their domestic clubs in European competitions. We know that. But within England and Scotland, it doesn't happen. Now, he comes out with other lines like, players can't be expected to play 3 times in a week. Well, he said, then he kind of goes on to say, well, centre-backs and goalkeepers can, but other than that, it's a bit no. Well, sorry, Philippe, again, you're talking out the top of your head, because, if you go to our near neighbours, they play the same team often Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. You go down south of the border, Manchester City, Erling Haaland starts pretty much every single game. Brahim Diaz starts pretty much every single game. Who's their right back? I think it's Kanji, who's their right back. Again, every single game. Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool starts every single game. John McGinn, Villa, starts pretty much every single game. So I genuinely think you are talking an awful lot of rubbish, Philippe Clement. And I think the overwhelming thing is there is a lot of evidence to show that you actually don't know what you're talking about. And to me, it just sounds like a whole lot of excuses as to why we're not playing well, a whole lot of excuses as to why you can't deliver a good performance in domestic competition. Now, yes, we won. I mean, I think you're all going to sit there, well, I mean, stop moaning because you won. We won 3 points. It's 3 points up the road. Yes, it's 3 points up the road, but this doesn't help with the wider issues at this club. in terms of the fact that when we come to Wednesday night against Aberdeen, which is going to be a different level of test, I don't have any confidence in going there and winning. I still think we could go there and win, but we could go there and lose equally. I don't have any confidence for the game against Celtic in January, or if it turns out to be an Old Firm Cup final, the League Cup. Again, I have no confidence that we'll beat them. Just no confidence at all. And the tougher test in the Europa League against the likes of Nice and Tottenham, I've got no confidence there that we'll win. I think they might beat Man United because they're shocking. But, I don't have any confidence in us actually winning those games at this moment in time. These performances are just not good enough. They're poor. They're genuinely poor. I mean, they are a tough watch. I mean, I did the live stream yesterday, and there's a lot of people in the live chat commenting this must be a tough thing to comment on and to try and talk through. And it is. When it's that dire and that bad, it is genuinely poor. Now, what were the positives out of yesterday's game? Nicholas Raskin, I thought, was very good again. A real Rottweiler in midfield. He really got stuck in. He got around the park. He used the ball well. He got stuck in. Good player. Connor Barron, I think, was another very big positive from yesterday's game. Again, did very well. Again, got stuck in. Played well. I thought Big Leon did well. At centre-back, I thought he was great. Big Cass, I thought Cass did well. I thought he played well again. Cheney got his goal. I don't think Cheney played great. He got his goal, but that was about it. Igaman, I think, isn't ready to start yet, unfortunately. I thought that Hiefte had a very poor game, if I'm being honest. Bayrami had a poor game. Dio had a poor game. He scored, but he was still quite poor. Obviously, we got the opening goal. We then pull back to 1-1. And then Cheney wins it. Makes it 2-1. Dessers came on. Obviously, he created the goal for Cheney. And then you've got the embarrassment of this incident here. I mean, this is near the end of the game. Actually, the very last kick of the game. Dessers goes in on the goalkeeper. Now, I don't understand what he's doing here. All he's got to do is push the ball away from the keeper, go around him and roll it into an empty net. Instead, he kind of moves into the goalkeeper and throws himself to the ground. Now, I'm sorry, but there may be the slightest of touches there from the St Mirren goalkeeper on him, but that is not a penalty for me. If that's given the other way, if that's Olasanya running through, or Boyd Muntz running through, or Mikel Mandron running through, and that's Jack Butland, we're going to be howling with rage if that penalty is given. I'm sorry, you would be. You would be. That is not a penalty. Under no circumstances is that a penalty. He goes down way too easy, something that he does increasingly quite a lot. And it's something that, Clement talked about him having a big heart and loving this club and wanting to give all for this club. Well, the first thing I'd want you to do, Cyril, is stay off your arse. Stay on your feet. He goes down way too easily. I think that's something that Clement does need to sit down with him and say, look, whether or not it's a foul or not, the problem you're creating for yourself, Cyril, is this one. You're getting a reputation now where you hit the deck on a regular basis, and referees are becoming wise to this situation. They're becoming where they genuinely are. You believe you're like the boy who cried wolf. That when you hit the deck, it's always just Dessers, isn't it? He's throwing himself on the floor again, and he's having a moan again. This is kind of the motif of Dessers at this moment in time, and he's not doing himself any favors. Now, the issue around that is, of course, when it comes to a critical situation, or firm game up at Pataudry, when he is genuinely brought down or he's genuinely foul, referees are going to take one look and go, nah, it's Dessers. He's chucking himself around again, isn't he? And that happens. We saw that with Todd Cantwell to some degree. Now, is that right? No, of course it's not right. But we know that certain players get reputations. And we know that certain players get reputations for going down too easily. And referees, therefore, referee them in a different way than they would referee other players. That's just a fact. Is it right? No, it's not right. Does it happen? Yes, it does. So let's get our heads around this a little bit. And let's try and get Cyril Dessers to stop chucking himself on the deck so much. And I'm sorry, but that is not a penalty. That is just, for want of a better word, a dive. It genuinely is. Look, we've got a busy week upcoming. For the club, we go with a very tough game on Wednesday night against Aberdeen at Pataudry. This is massive. I mean, it is genuinely massive. We'll build up to that game here on the channel. It's Wednesday night. It's 8:00 kickoff. A defeat, and I think the pressure will be back on Clement. Do I think that if we lose, he gets sacked? No, I don't. I think he'll still be here at the end of the season. I think the real questions will be asked should we lose to Celtic. And then obviously next Sunday, we have a semi-final against Motherwell to get to the League Cup final to defend our League Cup. So there's two massive games this week. And we need a real, different performance against Aberdeen. I think if we play like we did today against St Johnstone and against Killie and against Hibs in the league over the last 4 games, against Aberdeen on Wednesday night, we will lose. We will genuinely lose. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. I just genuinely think we need a raising level of performance. And we all know that Dessers and Tav will start on Wednesday night. We know that's going to happen, whether we want it to happen or not. I thought Tav was just shocking again when he came on today. Look, at the end of the day, this is a situation that we've got to put right domestically. European nights doesn't seem to be as big an issue. I think because European nights, suit us a little bit more because teams come and play us. They come and play football. They don't knuckle drag, hammer throw, kick, scratch, time waste, foul, spoil, like the teams in Scotland do. I thought Robin Proper as well was appalling today. I thought, he got absolutely shoved around all over the place and he didn't cope with it at all. And I think Proper has no future in the game in Scotland. I really do. I think he's a player that we need to send back to the Eredivisie in January and perhaps look for an alternative. I did think, though, that when Cass went in at centre-half, he looked rock solid. He really did. He didn't take any messing. Boyd Muntz couldn't push him around. The Mandron couldn't push him around. He wouldn't be pushed around. He was physical with the players he's up against. He was strong. He looked very good at centre back, and it's nice. I think that we've got Cass that can play centre back, can play right back, and looks equally good in both positions. That's very positive. Just try and finish on a positive there, guys. Let me know what you think of the stories we've covered in today's morning video. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation, guys. Please smash the sub, ring the bell, smash the like, drop a comment, do all that good stuff, and remember always, we are the people.